Am I Wrighster or am I wrong? The Brooklyn Nets are sick of Kyrie Irving. And that means Sean Marks, the general manager, the owner, uh, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. Because the Brooklyn Nets put out a press release today, and I read it. Given the evolving nature of the situation and after thorough deliberation, we have decided that Kyrie Irving will not play or practice with the team until he's eligible to be a full participant. Kyrie has made a personal choice and we respect his individual right to choose. Currently, the choice restricts his ability to be a full time member of the team, and we will not permit any member of our team to participate with part time availability. Blah, blah, blah. They continue on that they want to build team chemistry and all of that. And what that says in shorthand, Ralph, is we are sick of your shit. We don't want the sabbaticals. We want to go play basketball. We're trying to win a championship. And there is no way that the Brooklyn Nets put this out without James Harden and Kevin Durant being okay with this.
Probably not. I mean, Steve Nash has had to speak on it so much. Other people have had to speak on it so much that I feel like this would be an end to a lot of those questions because Kyrie Irving will be here when he wants to be here. That's the answer from here on out. It's not about, do you what do you think of Kyrie Irving's choice? It's that like the mandate is set. If he wants to be here, he'll be here. There's only one way to get back here. And so if he wants to be here, he'll do that thing. And if he doesn't want to be here, he won't do that thing. But it doesn't have anything to do with the organization.
So do
That
you
that's
think
the
that they should have allowed him to be a part-time player? Because I knew that wasn't going to work.
Not in basketball. There are sports where I think that could work and that I would support
In
it.
baseball, yeah, if you're a
Yeah,
pitcher
I
and you
think
only got to play every 5 days, then sure.
yeah, and I think that there's certain positions on the football field where that'd be okay. Even
Kicker,
though,
punter.
yeah, but you're not going to carry two kickers. You're not going to carry two punters.
Oh,
You got
yeah, that's a good point because you
you
can
got
only play home and away. Yeah, because he can't even play home games.
right, right. So, in football, there's certain ways that it could be a headache. There's certain ways that it might be a little bit easy. Like if you're your third down pass rushing outside linebacker, then yeah, it's welcome to get you back because situationally you're going to be better than what's behind you. But in basketball, it's
I think in
flow,
any sport.
chemistry. Yeah, yeah. In any sport, it's definitely easier to not have to deal with the outside noise. And we all know how football feels about distractions. See Tebow, Kaepernick, all that stuff. People who maybe could have had a longer career than they did if football didn't have the attitude that it had about like it's we and we don't want to talk about other stuff that's outside of football if we don't have to. Basketball invites this, but when it comes down to the practical side of it, it's honestly like this is a game of chemistry. This is a game where you can throw things off by coming and going. You can upset the apple cart. Locker room can kind of go downhill, and so to have to worry about all of the arrangements that come with you popping in and popping out is just it just doesn't make sense. I think this is the what's crazy is everybody's like, oh, the Nets are trying to back Kyrie Irving to a corner. They by this point they got to know Kyrie Irving's not going to just do something because
Correct.
society tells him to. It is literally for the health of their own team and the best opportunity forward to win.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with what the Brooklyn Nets did. Like, if you're his teammate, you have to be looking at this and saying, all right, look, we have gone as far as we can possibly go to try to make this happen. And just the practicality of it. Okay, how do we get him from point A to point B? Like that if he can't play in a home game, but he was able to play in an away game, do we fly him back with the team, not with the team? Okay, the team's going on a 5-day road trip. He'll go to that, but then not play in that game, and then we fly. Like, it's too many logistics to be trying to tap dance around one guy. And there are going to be people that argue, oh man, this is wrong. This mandate is wrong. Okay, forget it. It doesn't matter whether the mandate is right or wrong. He's an entertainer. And sometimes Kyrie Irving truly forgets that. And when you are handsomely paid as an entertainer, Part of that. You are paid handsomely to sacrifice part of your body and long term well being because you're playing every night, you're on the road, you have to play hurt, all of these things. So you're paid to sacrifice that. You are paid to play and entertain people during holidays and times where other people are off. That's your job. And that doesn't mean that you don't take into account your own mental health because you do. But that's stuff that you got to try to get together in the off season, and you can't take week long, 2 week long breaks during the actual season. You are an entertainer. And sometimes Kyrie Irving forgets that. And that doesn't, and I've said it time and time again. I have no problems with Kyrie, the actual human being. He's a good person. You saw what he donated money to with the WNBA players. He tries to help people with the school boards and be active out in the community. He's trying to do
Yeah,
the best thing that he can as a person, but
I agree.
as his job, he's not doing a good job.
No, he's a bad employee and a bad teammate.
Yeah. I
He
mean,
is.
that's
He
just the truth.
what because of the best ability is availability, and this isn't new. When it was announced that Kevin Durant was going to sign with the Nets, it was broke by John Gambadoro, a reporter out of Arizona, back in June of 2019. The first thing I said, I quote tweeted, and I said, by the time Kevin Durant is healthy, Kyrie Irving will have already ruined this team's chemistry. And it wasn't a joke. I wasn't doing it for retweets. I'm dead serious. By January 17th, 2020, Kyrie Irving had come out and said that anybody who is talking about the Nets, you're not in our locker room, stay the F out. Well, now, Kyrie, you're not in the locker room. Like,
Mm.
Kyrie Irving was built for tennis or chess or any competition that doesn't involve teammates,
Yeah.
because real leaders lead by
Because
creating
he can
other
go
leaders.
be Naomi Osaka. Play when you want to play, don't play when you don't want to play.
And he would be great, and it would be considered quirkiness. But the thing about being in Kyrie Irving's position as an NBA player is he's expected to be a leader. He's not one, because a real leader creates other leaders. Like, that's the whole point of leadership, is to replicate yourself. He's been on by that point, January 2020, he had been on the Nets a few months and already wants to look externally to create culture instead of building one in the locker room. And then by October of last year, George, he said that they didn't have a head coach. He like publicly threw Steve Nash under the bus in
Yeah.
a really,
Like,
really
no,
weird
it's a
way.
leadership. It's a combination between all of us.
Yeah, he said, I could be the head coach. Kevin Durant could be the head coach. Jacques Vaughn could be the head coach. It's collaborative. Like, all right, but you literally have a
A
head
head
coach,
coach.
and like nothing about that is necessary. In December of last year, Kyrie Irving issued a statement saying, my goal this season is to let my work on and off the court speak for itself. He said that he was no longer going to talk to the media. This is his exact statement. COVID-19 has impacted us all in many ways, so I pray for the safety and health of our communities domestically and abroad. I'm truly excited for the season to start, and I'm also praying that everyone remains safe and healthy throughout this journey. Instead of speaking to the media today, I'm issuing this statement to ensure my message is conveyed properly. I'm committed to show up to work every day, are you? Ready to have fun, compete, perform, and win championships alongside my teammates and colleagues in the Nets organization. My goal this season is to let my work on and off the court speak for itself. Life hit differently this year, and it requires us and me to move differently. So this is the beginning of that change. So far, everything that he's done since then, ah, and then in December, he issues a statement on Instagram after he had been fined by the NBA media for not by the NBA for not speaking to the media. He said, I've had enough of someone else's propaganda. I'm for truth, no matter who tells it. I'm for justice, no matter what it's for or against. I'm a human being first and foremost. And as such, I am for whoever and whatever benefits humanity as a whole. Now, that is a Malcolm X quote. And he says, I pray we utilize to find money for the marginalized communities in need, especially seeing where our world is presently. I'm here for peace, love, and greatness. So stop distracting me with my team and appreciate our art. We move different over here. I do not talk to pawns. My intention is worth more. Some NBA beat writers that make $16 an hour are getting called upon by a man who made $48,000 a minute. a minute to play basketball last year. Kyrie Irving is Andy Kaufman with sick handles and a mid-range game. This whole thing, it feels like performance art. It's not good for the Nets to have him around. It's not. And just a few days ago, he tweeted that he's done worrying what other people think of him, and his very next tweet was ripping what other people think of them.
Yep.
He has no roots. He has no he is spread all around, but there's nothing deep. No, he's embraced every religion without understanding that most of these religions are exclusive of each other. Were created to compete with each other ideologically. He is for peace by creating conflict. He is pro leadership by refusing to lead. He is all of these things without being any of these things. The team's just better off without him right now.
Yep. Yeah, and there comes a point. I knew that this was going to wear thin on Kevin Durant in particular, right? Because Kevin Durant, all he wants to do is play ball. I mean, that's what he's like. He's a hooper to his in his core. He's like, I don't care about any of this other stuff. If I got to get the vaccine to play, then whatever. I mean, that's the way his mentality works. He's like, that probably. I mean, granted, some other factors probably factored in, but the majority of the NBA players, part of their reason for getting vaccinated was to consistently be available for their team. That's it. They were just like, yo, I want to hoop. I love this. I'm not like I don't have a strong enough, moral or religious or whatever the hell else stance against this for me to fight it.
Right.
So, and Kyrie Irving has like I've talked to one of my own friends about this, and we've gotten into arguments about it and all this. Is you have to understand the temperature in the room. You have to understand when the walls have caved in. And Kyrie Irving, it's not just the walls are caving in; the city is crumbling, and he doesn't realize it, and that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
so to wrap this up, does Kyrie Irving really want to play basketball?
no, no. Your priorities show. If basketball was his priority, he wouldn't be taking time off last year, and it's okay. This is
Yeah,
a
there's
really
nothing
really
wrong with
important
that. If
point to
that's what
make.
he wants to do, it's fine.
The feet follow the heart and the head.
Oh, you made a great point. Tell the people what you said about Kyrie Irving. About what about what this is actually going to do.
Oh God, yeah, but you give him more time off. That's more time spent on YouTube. And the thing about Kyrie Irving is he's like John Lennon used to do this, like learn information and then immediately share it without like understanding the implications of your influence on other people.
Yep.
Just because you're learning something for the first time doesn't mean that you're qualified to turn around and teach it, right? You take one yoga class doesn't make you a yoga instructor. And he's a very enthusiastic person, and he's chasing knowledge, and he wants different explanations for all of the ways the world works, and for all of the inconsistencies that he sees being a young rich athlete in a country that's
Imagine
ultimately
if he
on
got
fire.
introduced to Joey.
Oh yeah, yeah, your boy, your boy who's into numerology and everything. Yeah, that'd be rough. And there's a lot of throughout history. There's been many athletes who attain the thing that they were chasing and then immediately realize that that doesn't fill the hole. And so I'm very sympathetic to the fact of what Kyrie Irving is going through. It's something that athletes and musicians and anybody who is been the dog chasing the car catches the car and realizes that what was the point of my urge to chase the car in the first place now that I've attained it? So I feel it. I do not think that Kyrie Irving needs to play basketball to make an impact in this world. I don't think that
Correct.
Kyrie Irving's a bad person, but the fact of the matter is he's paid to play basketball and he's not playing basketball, and he has the option to play basketball if he wants to. So
Yep.
we're in a position where he doesn't want to play basketball, and the team has to move on without
Yeah.
him. And the crappiest thing about this is it was predictable, because this has sort of been what he's been following since he decided to create space between himself and LeBron James by going to Boston, where his act wore thin. He's now in Brooklyn, where his act is wearing thin. And it's just going to continue to repeat itself until he finds the thing that he wants to focus the entirety of his energy on.
100%. Are we Wrighster or are we wrong? Shoot us an email. I'm Matt at unafraidshow.com. IMMAD at unafraidshow.com. Or shoot us a text 818-293-7547. Peace out. Catch you guys on Wednesday.